Good morning all, it's Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. Here's my trusty ute and tandem trailer. It's empty and we're going today treasure hunting. American pick'em style. I've got wind of a guy that's cleaning up a shed. I got a call yesterday. We've got to come and have a look before it all goes to the scrapyard or the tip. So beautiful early morning here, the sun's just come up and we're going to see if we can fill the ute and trailer and find some treasures. So let's get into it. Come for a drive with me. Okay, we're at the property. It's a bit windy today, so pardon the noise in the microphone. These old sheds were part of a engineering / mechanics workshop, which I think became a car wreckers eventually. It was started in the early 50s. The old guys passed away, the family got to clean it up, and already there's been scrappies in here. For the last couple of months there's been guys who are into vintage cars come through looking for bits. There's been lots of people fossicking, and the cleanup's been going for quite some time, getting ready for the scrappies to finish it off. I believe at one stage the place was broken into as well, and a lot of stuff was rummaged through, so all your good garage and alia bits are probably gone, enamel signs, oil bottles, and you can see there's this massive pile of rubbish thrown out here. All sorts of things. Good stuff for the scrappies, but there could be some treasures amongst it. So just to give you an idea of some of the vintage, this looks like the chassis of an old radio. Shame it's been out in the weather, it's probably too far gone anyway. But there's certainly not modern stuff here. And there would have been some really cool early advertising stuff. Some of these pieces, there's an old Villiers engine I recognise under there. There's radiators, there's lawnmowers. Now this is just one of the little side sheds. And we'll go in here first. I'll have a good rummage, spend quite a few hours in here today. There's some bottles, I don't think there's anything good with the bottles. Lots of car parts as you've seen. Timber boxes. It's just goes on and on. I believe there was 6 cars or something in the main shed that you couldn't even see were in here. All the vehicles are gone, but there is mountains of stuff, and because it's been picked through and rummaged through, there's no order to it. You've really almost got to be a mountain goat to get into it. So this is just one of the small sheds. There are some army boxes and things I noticed, so I'll be grabbing any of those that I can. This looks military too. Who knows what the car parts. There's crankshafts, there's lots of engine blocks and heads, and 99% of it will go for scrap unless anyone recognises what it's off. Bigger workshop equipment in here, an old air compressor tank, plenty of good steel. Office in the corner. There's stuff up there on the top shelf, bit of electrical. We just managed to drag this old console radio down, so I'll probably take that with me. There's parts shelves. That one looks fairly precarious, I'll be a bit careful walking around that one. I believe there's a lot of car manuals that have already gone, but there might be something worthwhile. Or advertising calendars. So it's a few guys working here at the moment, just helping to clean up. A lot of these army boxes are always handy. I have a peek in this office. There's no light, but the camera might adjust, or it might not. That's you can't see it there, but I will be getting that out. It's an old cedar bookcase or something or other. The doors are ripped off it. That's an early Victorian little sideboard thing. Bit far gone that one, but I'll drag them out later and show you what I get. And we'll go to another shed now. Alright, another shed, more piles. This one I think was more a storage shed. There's a huge big old welder there. A couple of retro hi-fi units. That one I believe probably had a TV in it as well. they're just too far gone. Like a lot of their stuff, when it ends up in sheds, it's really not worth salvaging. But I'll be having a good rummage through here because there's a bit of early engine stuff. This looks interesting. It's a shame it's only the crankcase, but that's a pretty early engine, hit and miss engine. Could be 1920s or 30s, that one. Plenty of car parts again, not sure what. Big air conditioning unit, I think that was. There's a backpack sprayer, they sell okay. Champion. Oh, this is the abrasive dust for, look at that, the abrasive dust for a spark plug cleaner. New in packets, but the packets are starting to fall apart. This sort of job, you just never know what's going to be in the next box. So we'll keep looking around. There's another shed to look in yet. And another long shed here. This one apparently had 2 cars in it, so you can see how much has gone. There's a nice old Singer treadle sewing machine, but as usual when they end up big sheds, all the ply separates from moisture, so even though the machine's still in there, it's really only have value for the cast iron base. This would have been a nice lead light D-shaped crystal cabinet, but the glass is missing out of one side, so not much good. I'm more looking for little bits and pieces, things that others may have missed. The jerry cans might be alright. They're usually military or Department of Defence ones. Yep, War Department, 1951. So as long as they're not rusted out, they're okay. I don't even recognise what some of these things are until I get in and have a bit of a better look. There's about 4 or 5 guys here with utes and trailers at the moment, so lots of people are doing plenty of picking. Right, I'll see you, Grant. I'll give you a call.
Yeah, just give me a buzz when you're done.
Yep, no worries. That was the owner, or the guy that's helping the owners clean up. He's basically given me free right to go nuts and make a pile, and I'll offer him a price. That looks like a radio of some sort. What's left of it could be World War II era. Or coffee grinder. So a little bit of domestic stuff in this shed. That's, I think they call that a gypsy table. That's a nice early little side table. There's a rocker. But the timber furniture pieces aren't going to be in very good condition here. Some magazines, they look kind of 50s or 60s. They'd be alright if they were car stuff, but not just general purpose. Okay, there's just lots of rummaging required. Buckets of parts. There's a speedy electric jug. Alright, there's an old, look at that. For the scrappers amongst you, there's a nice old PC. I'll take that and scrap that one out. Okay, I better get going, get into it, and I'll do some videos of anything I find as I go if I think of it, and I'll probably get a trailer load at the end of it. Getting into the depths of one of these sheds. Beautiful old carved frame, probably 1920s or so, but the trouble with sheds is it's been sitting in the dirt and the bottom part of the frame's totally rotted away. I found another oak frame similar with a bit of damage, so that's just a shame, but you see that. We've got to have a look and see what else we can find. Okay, there's more guys turning up with utes and trailers now. This is like a secret garage sale that everyone knows about. Anyway, I'm concentrating on the household stuff in one of these little sheds because I figure that most of the guys are car guys and they would have been looking for tools and things, so I might do better on these little household items. There's cute little tins. I found a couple of bike pumps, but they're actually English ones. They'll clean up quite well. This is looks like an army duffel bag or whatever they call them. It has got some army numbers on it somewhere, so I'll take that one as well. And this coffee grinder I spotted before, it's only a 70s one, but it's in pretty good nick, so that can go in the box. This little black case here is a bit grotty on top, but it's a little cheap and nasty 70s record player still. Retro stuff's in. And this, it's a shame it's in such bad condition. It looks like it's probably a military radio. I'll take it back because if nothing else it makes a great display. and I'll keep going through some of these boxes of households. Okay, I'm trying to be strict, but there's so many things that kind of look interesting. This is a beautiful old turned timber bowl. It's quite heavy, it's possibly red gum. Looks terrible being all dirty, but there's no cracks or splits, so I'm going to take that. This mirror, I'm not really looking for car parts, but it just fell out of a box. Might be a good eBay item. It's actually branded Volvo, so it's in good nick. We'll take that and have a check. And I just stumbled across some really nice Art Nouveau tiles. There's only 3 of them, probably would have been 6, but they're early 1900s, probably off the back of a washstand, and they'll get at least $10 each, so there's a good little score. This is cool. It's a stovetop hot water storage unit. Hopefully I can find the lid. It's probably copper, a bit hard to tell in this dark shed, so we'll certainly be taking that one as well. Alright, I've finished one wall. There's some interesting bits. This one's a brick maker for making perhaps mud bricks or something, or newspaper ones. There's a really old timber pulley, a couple of those cast iron boot lasts in there. If you can see them, they always sell well. Really nice old tin here. I've had one of these before. It's still full of stuff, but it'll clean up really nicely. A very retro flower power flour sifter. I think the little mechanism that operates it is missing a link or something, but wow, what a great design from the 60s there. So that'll sell alright as an ornament. So I finished this side, and now before I get onto this other side, it looks like there's a heap of paint there. We'll have a bit of a look up on this level and hopefully it doesn't collapse. Okay, getting a bit of a pile here. Everything from vintage computers to little kids' chairs to big floodlights and mirrors. I'll go through this stuff better when I get it home. So now it's time to go into the big shed. And it's been well rummaged through, and the guys have been working in here while I've been doing the other one. But I'm going to try and get up. There's a ladder there. I'm going to try and get up onto that top section and have a rummage through there. Looks to be a bit of vintage electrical. Alright, we're up in the rafters now. A bit hairy climbing up here. But, and if I take a tumble, it's not going to be very comfortable landing on that stuff, so I better hang on. But we'll have a rummage along this shelf and just see if there's anything worth the effort to get down. And there's stuff on top of the office roof as well. Here's a nice little bit, just out of a box. A little old Ford hubcap that'll clean up quite well. Not worth a fortune, but nice piece to have in the shop. There's some old tins here. Curry powder, not even that old actually. Keen's mustard, 100 grams, so it's not that old. You've heard of the saying Keen's mustard? That's where it came from. Okay, just to show you that it's worth looking in every box. This looks nothing, it's covered in rat shit. It's very dirty. And if I lift it out, it's actually a really nice windscreen washer jar, and I'm sure the car guys would have grabbed that if they had found it. So that's going in my box to take home. Okay, I've come along this far, finding all sorts of stuff, certainly worth my while. There's some old car radios now I have to do some research on. That big metal box is a very heavy army radio, I'll show you that later. But wading through all the stuff up here, crawling actually, and I don't want to fall off as I've mentioned, so I've got to get on top of the office yet. But there's a bit of stuff there beforehand. There's an old valve car radio, so I'll try and make my way along there. Who would have thought you'd find a church pew on top of an office in a workshop? Unfortunately I can't claim that. The family have already decided they want to keep it. So just about finished up here, a little bit to go through on the top of the office, and there's an army radio I found there, a nice old kettle, and that's where I've worked along. And I'll drop some things down onto that shelf there and hopefully get them down without any mishaps. Alright, I've finished up here. Thank goodness. It's getting really hot up here, and it's only a cool day, but right under the tin roof it kind of amplifies the heat. Right, now this box and a few items on top of that cupboard down there, and the ones just around the corner are the ones I'm going to get down and keep. It might just look like more junk to the untrained eye. In fact, even the people with a trained eye might shake their head, but I can see a bit of value in it, so we'll get down and try and get it off the top of that cupboard. Alright, it's getting pretty windy out here, so sorry about the wind noise. Just going through some outside stuff while the sun's away, because it's getting pretty hot. And it looks like I found the black box. A black box from the aircraft crash, maybe. It is a aircraft radio receiving unit, and it kind of looks like an aircraft crash. So anyway, that's pretty cool. We'll take that home. Okay, we'll get into the corner of this shed, and I see an old Victor mower base. Normally not that exciting, but this one actually has the tag on it, which is pretty good. They're collectible. That's probably a 1960s era. Victor started in Australia about 1955, I believe, in Sydney. Okay, a good few hours in. It's lunchtime, but I'll have to miss lunch because I want to keep going. I haven't been in this shed yet, and every box, as I said earlier, every box is a lucky dip. You just don't know what you're going to find. Family service first owner. That's pretty cool. It's a metal sign. I might take that. So I'm just going to rummage around through this shed, and then I've got another one to do, and getting big piles everywhere. So I'll certainly get a load, that's for sure. Okay, I just dragged that deco bookshelf down from on top of a pile here, and I was just thinking I haven't seen much wildlife other than a few redbacks and spiders. And have a look at this little character. I've disturbed his sleep. Little possum. So I'll get out of here and he'll find somewhere dark to hide and finish his sleep. Another little shed, and yet more junk. Doesn't look to be much of value in here for me. 70s era bedside drawers. That looks like a big adjustable hospital bed down there. Plumbing fittings, wardrobes, Briggs and Stratton engines. Of course, where else do you keep your lawnmower engine? In a wardrobe. A bit more modern stereo stuff, which I don't want. I mean, I'd take it as e-waste, but as far as today goes, I'm basically picking anything of value, of good value, and I'll load up my ute and trailer, and then pretty well just throw a figure at the guy, and he'll accept. Pretty sure he'll accept whatever I offer, because otherwise, whatever I don't buy is just going to go for a scrap. Big pile of stuff out here. Don't think there's a lot of value. More Briggs and Stratton engine parts, more car parts, electrical fuse box of some sort. The mag wheel, I might grab the mag wheel, it's worth a bit. The scrappies won't give him anything special for it. It's a shame there's not a set of those. Those vintage donut mags would bring pretty good money. It looks like it's a 14 inch. Even one would probably sell better than scrap price. More engine blocks and heads. And back into this shed, we'll have a bit of a rummage in here too. Okay, I'm all loaded up, just heading off home. Just thought I'd stop and give you a look at the load. All tied down, got everything on, even a rocking chair. Lots of boxes and some deco shelves there, and it was a really good load. A lot of work, and I paid the guy $250 for that, for the lot, which he was happy with, because remember, it's the dregs of this deal. All the good stuff had well and truly gone, and what was left was going to the scrapyard or just into landfill. So he's happy to get some extra money. I better throw another rope over that pit. And it was a big day for me in that I was here early this morning. It's now 3:15 in the afternoon. I haven't had lunch. I ran out of water about an hour or two ago. So it's pretty dirty work too. I'm looking forward to a shower tonight. Anyway, I got a good load. I'm happy with it. I should have been doing other things today, but he just rang me yesterday and said, come and have a look, or it's all going. So you got to grab these opportunities when they present themselves. So I'll get home now, unload it. I'm going to make a coffee and wash up a bit, and sit down and put my feet up for the moment. Okay, I've decided to actually end this video here as sort of the the picking part of the adventure, and I'll do a series of videos on maybe 10 or a dozen items at a time, on just appraising what I've got and what I'll what's involved in cleaning it up or fixing it, and valuations, what I'll sell it for, which you might find interesting. So I'll probably call it something like appraisals of treasures found Aussie picking or something like that. I'll put a link in the end of this video when I get it done, and there'll be a few parts to that. So thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'll catch you in the next video.